I want you to picture something for a second.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Close your eyes if you need to. Unless you're driving, of course.
Right, yeah, definitely keep your eyes on the road if you're in the car.
Exactly. But imagine a mountain of small, colorful, interlocking plastic bricks.
We're talking about Legos here, right?
We are. But I don't want you to picture, that dusty bin of mismatched pieces you had in your childhood bedroom.
Right, not the one with the sticky pennies at the bottom.
No, no. Imagine a carefully curated, massive collection of these bricks. And it's alongside these highly specialized, incredibly rare minifigures.
Oh, wow. Okay, so a serious collection.
Very serious. Now, I want you to attach a price tag to that mountain.
Okay, how much?
$200,000.
Wait, really? 200 grand?
200 grand, just locked up entirely in plastic.
That is, that's a small fortune.
It really is. It was meticulously assembled piece by piece over what we can only assume is basically a lifetime of collecting. And now imagine you drop that fortune off somewhere safe. You leave it in trusted hands.
Okay.
But when you come back, that fortune has just vanished into thin air.
Oh, no.
Poof, gone. And the only thing left behind in its place is a raging, chaotic digital firestorm.
It's an incredibly striking image to start with, honestly, because it forces us to grapple with the sheer scale of the situation.
Exactly.
Like, people hear the word Lego and they immediately think of toys. They think of, child's play.
Right, just stuff you buy at the big box store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at a $200,000 valuation, we are no longer talking about toys. We're talking about a legitimate alternative asset class.
It's a portfolio at that point.
Exactly. It is a portfolio.
Yeah.
And when an asset of that magnitude simply evaporates, the fallout is going to be intense. It's going to be messy and fundamentally human.
Which is the exact mission for today's deep dive.
Yes, it is.
We are unpacking a truly bizarre, highly contested saga today.
And we should probably lay out the core ingredients for everyone right up front.
Yeah, let's do that. So first, we have a family known as the Mansell family.
Right.
We have this massive $200,000 Lego collection. We have an Oregon-based franchise of a retail chain called Bricks and Minifigs.
Okay.
And finally, we have a highly controversial internet investigator who goes by the moniker Reckless Ben.
Right, Reckless Ben. But before we go any further, we really have to establish the architectural boundaries of this deep dive.
Absolutely. The disclaimer.
Right, a massive flashing disclaimer. We are analyzing a highly complex, emotionally charged situation based solely on the source material we have in front of us.
And those sources explicitly state that these are allegations.
Exactly. To date, no court of law has determined that criminal theft occurred in this situation.
Not at all.
So the legal reality and the internet narrative are currently occupying two fundamentally different universes right now.
Yeah, and we are not acting as judge, jury, or private investigators here.
No, not at all. We aren't taking a side.
Our goal is just strictly to explore the mechanics of what has been alleged. And, to look at the fascinating and somewhat terrifying themes that this entire ordeal forces into the light.
I think that's a crucial distinction. Because whether you consider yourself a hardcore collector or a fan of internet mysteries, this story matters.
Or even if you're just someone who is fascinated by the weird mechanics of modern society.
Right. It touches on a vulnerability we all share.
Think about the trust you place in institutions every single day.
Right, like when you drop your car at the mechanic.
Exactly. Or you leave your savings in a bank, or you hand your coat to a coat check. You fully expect it to be there when you get back.
You do. It's an unwritten rule.
So this deep dive is about what happens when that social contract breaks, or is at least perceived to break.
And how the internet collectively tries to violently engineer its own fix.
Violently engineer is a great way to put it.
It operates as a modern fable, really. It begins with the most tactile, physical objects imaginable, little plastic bricks. But it immediately transcends them to become a story about digital vigilantism and the rigid boundaries of the law.
And the shifting nature of truth in a hyper-connected public square.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We have to start with the catalyst, which is the Mansell family and the initial handoff.
Right, the drop-off.
According to the sources, this family entrusted this enormous Lego collection to an Oregon franchise of Bricks and Minifigs.
Right, and for those unfamiliar, Bricks and Minifigs is a retail chain.
Yeah, they specialize in buying, selling, and trading these specific items. It's essentially a specialized secondary market.
Right, like a high-end thrift store, but exclusively for Lego.
Exactly. And the family claims that after handing over this sprawling collection, a massive portion of it simply disappeared.
Just vanish.
Just wasn't there.
And right out of the gate, we slam into a massive wall of friction here.
Oh, completely.
It's the friction between the human emotional experience and rigid legal definitions.
Yeah, let's break down those mechanics, the whole consignment or entrustment thing.
Right. So in the family's view, they possessed a tangible asset. They transferred physical custody to a business entity, and now the asset is gone without compensation.
Which, to the human brain, that triggers the exact same neurological alarm bells as a robbery.
Exactly. It feels like a theft.
But, as we established earlier, the sources explicitly state that no court has determined criminal theft occurred.
Right, which to an average person watching this unfold just feels like semantic gymnastics.
It really does. Like, let's use an analogy to look at the mechanics of this.
Okay, lay it on me.
It's basically the difference between someone holding you at gunpoint for your wallet in an alley.
Right, a clear robbery.
Versus you giving your wallet to a valet to hold while you park, and the valet accidentally leaves it on the roof of a car that drives away.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
In both scenarios, you are standing there broke without your wallet.
Well, but still out the money.
But the law treats those two events as completely different species of reality.
That analogy actually isolates the exact legal mechanism at play here.
The intent, right?
Yes, intent. The legal term is mens rea, which translates to a guilty mind.
Mens rea.
Right. For the state to pursue criminal theft, a prosecutor doesn't just have to prove that the Legos are gone.
They have to prove why they're gone.
Exactly. They have to prove, beyond a reasonable doubt, that someone at that business purposefully, maliciously, and intentionally deprived the family of their property.
They basically have to prove a heist occurred.
Exactly. A literal heist.
But proving a business had a guilty mind, rather than just, gross incompetence, is notoriously difficult.
Oh, it's nearly impossible in some cases.
Because if a business loses track of inventory because their auditing software is terrible,
right,
or if there's a massive logistical failure, or just a contractual dispute over how items were meant to be displayed or sold,
none of that is technically a crime.
Right. It's just bad business.
It falls into an administrative black hole, legally speaking.
Yeah.
It falls into the realm of civil litigation, not criminal prosecution.
And those are two very different beasts.
Completely different. In a civil dispute, the burden of proof is lower, usually a preponderance of the evidence, but the remedies and the speed are entirely different.
So slow, right.
Glacial. A civil dispute over inventory mismanagement can grind on for years.
Because it requires retaining counsel, engaging in these grueling discovery phases.
Taking depositions, filing motions.
It is a slow, methodical, deeply expensive process.
And it offers zero immediate satisfaction to a family that feels they've been wronged today.
Exactly. So the family is sitting there with an empty wallet, so to speak, and there's no police intervention.
Right.
The legal system basically looks at them and says, take a number, hire a lawyer, and wait 3 years.
Which is so frustrating.
But human nature doesn't wait well.
No, it doesn't.
When institutional justice is too slow, too expensive, or too opaque, people inevitably look for alternative ways to build their own justice systems.
They want answers now.
And that is exactly the void that our next character steps into.
Right. It is the perfect ecological niche for a very specific type of modern figure.
Yet, when traditional mechanisms fail to offer immediate clarity, a massive vacuum opens up.
And the internet absolutely abhors a vacuum.
It sure does. So enter Reckless Ben.
Reckless Ben.
According to our sources, Reckless Ben is a YouTube investigator who has built a reputation on diving headfirst into complex controversies.
Right. He doesn't shy away from the drama.
No, he doesn't. He hears about this missing $200,000 Lego collection, and he doesn't just, sit in a gaming chair and record a reaction video.
Yeah, he doesn't just read an article and give his opinion.
He actively takes up the case.
Wow.
The sources note he starts gathering receipts, he conducts actual interviews with the people involved, or adjacent to the situation in Oregon.
He's putting in the work.
Yeah, and he begins posting highly produced video documentation of his claims.
What's fascinating here is the mechanics of what he's doing.
How so?
Well, He is effectively taking the traditional tools of investigative journalism, gathering primary source documents, conducting witness interviews, building a timeline,
Right.
and he is deploying them entirely outside the traditional journalistic framework.
I see what you mean.
He is deploying them within the framework of digital entertainment and the creator economy.
And his audience mobilizes instantly.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
The sources describe his viewers morphing into internet detectives.
Of course, that's always what happens.
They are dissecting every single detail he puts on screen.
I can just picture it.
Yeah, I imagine they're pausing the videos at the exact frame. A receipt is shown, cross-referencing dates, formulating massive conspiracy theories in the comments section.
The hive mind goes to work.
But this raises a really uncomfortable question.
Okay, what is it?
Are these internet detectives actually engaging in open source intelligence that helps uncover the truth? Or are they just gamifying a real-life crisis and muddying the waters with mob mentality?
Honestly, I'd argue it's a volatile mixture of both.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that is what makes the shift in modern investigative power so profound.
Let's look at how this used to work historically. If a local Oregon business was accused of shady consignment practices, maybe a local newspaper reporter would look into it.
Right, the local beat reporter.
And that reporter operates within a rigid structure. They have a managing editor questioning their sources.
Right.
They have legal counsel reviewing their copy for defamation risks. They adhere to a strict ethical code regarding how you approach subjects and verify facts before publishing.
Exactly. There's a whole apparatus of accountability.
But an independent creator with a massive platform bypasses all of those gatekeepers.
They really do. They are the lead investigator, the editor-in-chief, the publisher, and the legal department all rolled into one person operating from a laptop.
It's wild when you think about it like that.
And their audience acts as a massive parallel processing analytical engine.
Right, the crowdsourcing aspect.
This is the core concept of crowdsourced investigation. Hundreds of thousands of highly motivated eyes can absolutely spot a discrepancy in a digital receipt or a contradiction in a public statement much faster than one overworked local reporter.
There is undeniable power in that transparency.
Absolutely.
Yes, but the danger is that this crowd is entirely unbound by the presumption of innocence.
Right. They aren't sworn in.
They don't have a judge instructing them to disregard prejudice.
No, they don't.
They are fueled by algorithmic engagement, moral outrage, and the psychological dopamine hit of solving a puzzle.
That dopamine hit is the critical variable here.
It is so addictive.
The internet audience demands a clear, narrative-satisfying conclusion. They demand a mustache-twirling villain and a pure, innocent victim.
They want a movie ending.
But as we discussed with the civil versus criminal law distinction, reality, especially reality involving business inventory disputes, is almost always a deeply frustrating shade of gray.
Right.
When a crowd that demands black and white answers encounters a gray reality, the line between seeking justice and participating in targeted harassment can evaporate overnight.
It happens so fast.
It really does.
Now, making videos, reviewing receipts, and pointing out discrepancies from a studio is one thing.
Yeah.
That happens millions of times a day online. But this specific situation didn't stay neatly confined to the digital realm.
No, it didn't.
The physics of the story fundamentally changed because the investigation spilled out into the physical world.
And crossing the digital divide is always the exact moment these stories transition from entertaining online drama to highly volatile, real-world consequences.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
According to the sources, the controversy hits an absolute boiling point. Lawsuits start flying from multiple sides.
Oh, wow.
The allegations are fiercely contested by all parties involved. And right in the middle of this escalating legal warfare, Reckless Ben is actually arrested.
Wait, arrested? Like handcuffs?
He is physically put in handcuffs during the ongoing controversy.
That is wild.
Now, Ben claims he was merely attempting to serve legal documents while continuing his investigation.
Okay.
But others involved fiercely disagree with that characterization.
Let's pause and dissect the mechanics of serving legal documents, because this highlights the immense friction between independent creators and the codified legal system.
Yeah, let's break that down.
Serving papers is not just handing someone a piece of paper.
Right.
It is a formal, highly regulated procedural mechanism in the physical world. It exists to ensure due process.
To mathematically guarantee that a person knows they are being sued or summoned so they can prepare defense.
Exactly.
Right, and usually you hire a licensed process server to do that, or a sheriff's deputy does it. It's supposed to be an administrative task.
Right, an impartial third party.
Yeah.
Because when an entertainer or an independent investigator who is already deeply embedded in the narrative takes a regulated action like this into their own hands, the boundaries collapse.
It's a huge conflict of interest.
It is. Are they acting as an impartial participant in the legal system? Are they acting as a journalist?
Are they engaging in physical vigilantism for the sake of creating a dramatic spectacle for their YouTube audience?
Exactly. You don't know anymore.
It reminds me of a traditional documentary filmmaker.
How so?
Well, the golden rule in documentary filmmaking is to observe and record, but never to interfere.
Right, the whole fly-on-the-wall concept.
You don't interact with the wildlife, but what Reckless Ben is doing, or at least what the situation evolved into, leading to his arrest, is like a documentary filmmaker accidentally walking into the middle of an active crime scene they're trying to film.
Oh, man.
And then picking up the murder weapon to inspect it, and suddenly becoming the prime suspect in the story they are supposedly just covering.
That is a brilliant analogy.
You stop being the lens and you become the subject.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, look at how the real-world institutions react to that.
They don't like it.
Not at all. The internet absolutely loves a renegade. The digital space rewards people who cut through the red tape and take direct action.
Yeah, it's great for clicks.
But the physical world, police departments, courts, legal statutes, they run entirely on red tape.
They do.
That red tape isn't just bureaucracy. That red tape is the law itself.
So when you try to forcefully apply internet rules to physical spaces, the system pushes back.
Hard.
It pushes back with handcuffs.
The physical consequences here, an actual arrest, the immediate threat of real-world lawsuits, they highlight the severe, often ruinous risks that independent creators take on when they step outside the bounds of traditional institutional protections.
The safety net is gone.
Exactly. If a journalist for a major international paper is arrested while reporting, they have the backing of a massive corporate legal team and a public relations apparatus to fight for their release.
They make a couple of calls and it's handled.
Right. An independent YouTuber often just has their own personal bank account.
Which is terrifying.
Suddenly, they are standing alone, facing the incredibly intimidating machinery of the justice system.
And it's not just the criminal justice system with the arrest, it's the civil justice system with the lawsuits.
Oh, the lawsuits?
The sources explicitly mention lawsuits coming from multiple sides. It becomes this tangled, impenetrable web of civil litigation stacked on top of whatever events led to the arrest.
It is an absolute mess.
So put yourself in the listener's shoes right now. You're tracking this story.
Right, you're following along.
You've got $200,000 in missing Legos.
Right.
You've got the vigilante investigator.
Yeah.
You've got crowdsourced internet detectives dissecting receipts.
Okay.
You've got a physical arrest and a flurry of multi-directional lawsuits.
It's got all the makings of a blockbuster.
Structurally, you would naturally assume that we're building toward a massive explosive climax where all the secrets are revealed, the judge bangs the gavel, and the truth is laid bare.
Right. That is the narrative arc that every movie, every true crime deep dive, and every book has conditioned us to expect.
We want resolution.
You crave it.
But that is not what happens here.
No, it's not.
This deep dive has a twist that I find more fascinating than the missing bricks themselves.
Me too, honestly.
The climax of this entire saga is locked away. It is practically buried alive.
It is the ultimate anticlimax, and mathematically, it is perhaps the most modern element of this entire story.
It really is. The sources tell us that Reckless Ben has stated that Episode 3 of his investigation, which we can safely assume was meant to be the grand finale, the culmination of all this real-world risk and digital sleuthing, is completely finished.
Done. In the can.
The video is edited, it's rendered, and it is sitting on a hard drive somewhere.
Wow.
However, due to legal concerns, he stated he may never be able to release it to the public.
It is a ghost episode.
It's wild to think about. To understand why this happens, we have to unpack a vital legal and cultural concept.
Right. The chilling effect of civil litigation.
I want to spend some time on this because to an average internet user, burying this final episode looks like straight-up censorship.
It does. It looks sketchy.
It looks like the bad guys, whoever the audience has decided they are in this scenario one, simply because they had better lawyers and more money.
But it's important to differentiate this from First Amendment censorship.
Okay, let's clarify that.
True legal prior restraint is when the government actively prevents you from publishing something.
Like the government stepping in and saying, you can't air this.
Right. That is incredibly rare and requires a massive legal threshold. But in the private sector, the chilling effect operates entirely differently.
How so?
It describes a situation where a person voluntarily hesitates or completely refuses to exercise their legitimate right to speak out of sheer terror of the legal repercussions.
Ah, because defending yourself in court structurally bankrupts you before you ever get to a judge.
Precisely. Let's look at the mechanics of a defamation suit.
Go.
Even if an independent creator wholeheartedly believes they possess the absolute truth, even if they have receipts they think are bulletproof,
Right.
the plaintiff doesn't have to win the lawsuit to destroy the creator.
Oh, wow. They just have to file it.
They just have to file it.
Yeah.
The sheer financial weight of navigating the discovery phase, paying hourly attorney fees, and enduring the psychological stress can act as a permanent gag order.
That is so dark.
You might be entirely right on the facts, but if it costs you $200,000 in legal fees to prove you are right, you are economically incentivized to stay silent.
The threat of litigation literally freezes the investigation in its tracks.
It's highly effective.
Is it possible that the threat of legal action is the ultimate kryptonite for the creator economy?
That's a great question.
I think about this constantly. You watch a major news network drop a bombshell investigative report.
Right.
Behind that anchor's desk is a legal department that has spent weeks reviewing every single sentence, every single comma, to ensure it can survive a defamation suit.
They have entire floors of lawyers for that.
They have an insurance policy and a massive war chest to fight back. But a lone YouTuber, no matter how many millions of subscribers they have, just has their own wallet.
And that reveals a massive structural fragility in how we consume information today.
It really does.
We are increasingly relying on independent creators for investigative journalism because they are agile, they're engaging, and they build incredible parasocial trust with their audience.
We feel like we know them.
Right. But they're operating without a net. They are incredibly legally vulnerable.
And think about the psychological impact on the audience.
Oh, the whiplash.
Think about those internet detectives who mobilized. They invested hours into this.
Probably days.
They analyzed the receipts in episode 1 and 2. They argued in the comments. They formed deep emotional attachments to the outcome.
They wanted to see justice served.
And suddenly the screen goes black. They're permanently denied their resolution. The finale is locked in a vault, probably on the advice of counsel.
The frustration must be immense because the internet is fundamentally built on the promise of infinite information and eventual closure.
You can always Google the ending.
Exactly. When a narrative is abruptly halted by the invisible hand of the traditional legal system, it feels like a glitch in the matrix to an audience accustomed to binge-watching reality.
That's a great way to put it, a glitch in the matrix.
It is a stark reminder that no matter how much noise the digital world makes, the physical laws of civil liability and defamation still dictate the final terms of engagement.
It really forces us to pan the camera back.
It does.
We started this deep dive talking about a massive collection of missing plastic bricks, $200,000 worth of specialized toys.
Right.
But if we pull back from the unreleased video, from the physical arrest, from the local Oregon franchise, we start to see the actual bedrock of this entire saga.
The sources themselves provide the perfect synthesis here.
What do they say?
They explicitly state, this story stopped being about toys a long time ago. It's about trust, accountability, and the strange power of independent creators in the digital age.
Which begs the question,
Yeah.
what does this actually mean for us?
Right. Why should we care?
Think about why a localized dispute over business inventory instantly became a global piece of entertainment. Because it's a masterclass in the modern digital landscape.
The Lego bricks, as insanely valuable as they are to the Mansell family, are merely the inciting incident.
They are a microcosm.
Exactly. The real story is about how society attempts to repair broken trust in the 21st century.
Because historically, if you felt cheated by a business, you went to the Better Business Bureau.
Right. Or you filed a claim in small claims court.
You relied on established, slow-moving institutions to slowly turn the gears of accountability.
But those gears are too slow for the modern attention span.
Way too slow.
Now, you go to social media, you crowdsource your grievance, you find a champion with a camera.
And that raises perhaps the most important question of this entire deep dive.
This raises an important question, yes. Who do we as a society actually trust more right now?
That is the million-dollar question.
Do we trust the slow, methodical, deeply procedural, and let's be honest, often inconclusive legal system?
Right.
Or do we inherently trust the fast, transparent, highly engaging, but incredibly chaotic, independent internet investigator?
It's a total collision of paradigms.
It really is.
The legal system demands a preponderance of evidence, rules of procedure, and silent deliberation.
While Reckless Ben and the internet detectives demand digital transparency, raw receipts, and immediate public action.
And when those two paradigms smash into each other, the fallout is chaotic.
It's explosive.
You get people serving papers themselves, you get arrests, you get a barrage of lawsuits, and you get unfinished stories locked away on hard drives because the risk of speaking the truth, or what someone believes is the truth, is simply too expensive.
And the uncomfortable reality is that neither system is perfect.
Not at all.
The legal system can be too slow and cost-prohibitive for average families to ever find actual justice for a missing asset.
Right, they get priced out of justice.
But the internet investigator model is prone to terrifying mob dynamics, a complete lack of due process, and as we just saw, it can be silenced entirely by the mere threat of litigation.
So what does this all mean? It is a phenomenal, tangled mess.
It really is.
And as we begin to wrap up this deep dive, it is crucial to bring it all back to the concrete facts we started with, keeping that completely impartial lens intact.
Right. Let's strip away the noise.
Strip away the internet noise, the comment sections, and the drama, and here's what we are left with.
Okay.
A family claims a $200,000 Lego collection entrusted to an Oregon blackness disappeared.
And these allegations are fiercely contested by business.
Crucially, no criminal theft has been legally proven by a court of law.
Right.
A YouTuber named Reckless Ben investigated the situation, gathered an army of online detectives, and was subsequently arrested while allegedly trying to serve legal papers, a characterization that is also hotly disputed.
Disputed by multiple parties.
Multiple lawsuits have been filed from various directions, and the final episode of the investigation remains unreleased due to legal fears.
So much remains unresolved.
The reality of what actually happened to those physical plastic bricks is currently buried under a mountain of digital debate, unproven allegations, and legal paperwork.
It is a stark, somewhat unresolved summary.
It is.
But before we close, I want to leave the listener with one final concept to turn over in their mind.
Okay, what is it?
We have spent this time watching a crowdsourced justice mechanism mobilize thousands of people, trigger real-world legal chaos, and dominate an internet ecosystem all over a dispute regarding missing, albeit valuable, toys.
Right.
So ask yourself this. What happens when this exact same machinery, the independent creators acting without institutional guardrails, the internet detectives analyzing out-of-context receipts, the digital mob demanding immediate action, what happens when that is aimed at something even more fundamental to our lives?
Oh, man. That's a scary thought.
What happens when this dynamic targets the integrity of our local healthcare systems? Or our municipal election?
Right.
Or a major civic institution?
Wow.
Are we ready for a world where independent YouTubers armed with nothing but a camera, an algorithm, and an angry audience become the new ultimate court of public opinion?
That is a deeply unsettling thought.
It is.
But it is exactly why we do these deep dives. You have to understand the mechanics of the media you consume.
Keep questioning the systems of trust you rely on every day. And the next time you see a mountain of plastic bricks, remember that in the digital age, even the most harmless objects can be the spark that ignites a real-world firestorm.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.